Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is AMX Sports with another basketball video, and today we're going over the Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks series. This is going to be very similar to the Celtics video I did 2 days ago, where I'm going to be going over team stat comparisons, player stat comparisons of the top two players, and then some guys who aren't the star player on the Heat, but still very strong players that had a big impact on the series. I don't have as much insight on this series as I did on the Celtics series because I watched all of the Celtics games and I've been watching them all season, but I will try my best to add some sort of insight to the video. First off, team statistical comparison. Miami finished 4-1 in the series. Hawks were 1-4. Miami had a 12-point per game advantage, 109 to 97.4. 199 field goals made compared to 172. Miami shot 46.5% compared to the Hawks 44%. So unlike the Celtics-Nets game, there is a little bit more of a field goal percentage gap in there, and the team that won did have the higher field goal percentage. The Celtics shot worse than the Nets by about 1% in both field goals and way worse in three-pointers. Field goal percentage was very close in this series. Comparatively. Free throws also extremely close. Both shot 78%. Both shot about 110. And rebounds very similar. 41 offensive and 159 defensive for Miami. 43 offensive and 154 defensive for the Hawks. 3 rebound difference. The real difference in the series was the assists and the steals. Miami got the ball around a lot more, and they got a lot more turnovers. The Hawks turned the ball over 82 times compared to Miami's 63 turnovers. And those 18 turnover differential turned into an extra 37 shots for the Heat. Between they got similar rebounds, but between the assists and between the steals, decent number of extra shots got off and more good shots. 9 more fouls for Miami, but in the long run, fouls don't really do a whole lot. In the bonus, teams don't really get shots over and over and over again unless they get way early on. So fouls, not really a big deal, but may have had some impact in the last game. Comparison of the two stars, Jimmy Butler versus Trey Young. Now keep in mind, Jimmy Butler played 4 games of this series. He was injured for the 5th game. So outside of points per game, keep in mind that Butler played 1 less game than Trey Young. They both averaged about 37 minutes per game, almost exactly the same minutes actually. Jimmy Butler averaged 30.5 points a game. Trey Young averaged 15.4. Jimmy Butler made 44 field goals on 81 attempts. Trey Young made 22 field goals on 69 attempts. That's a difference of 54% versus 32%. Three-pointers, they both made 7, but Jimmy Butler took half the shots, making almost 50% of his three-pointers. Trey Young made barely 20%. Offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds, Jimmy Butler rebounded more in his 4 games than Trey Young did in his 5. Trey Young had more assists, but steals and blocks, Jimmy Butler got a lot of turnovers. For the Heat, he had a fantastic series. As of last night, his didn't change. His efficiency rating didn't change since last night because he didn't play yesterday. But Trey Young's player efficiency rating last night was 5.97. I'm gonna look right now and see if it's changed at all. But they had a very similar plus minus in the whole scheme of things, meaning that like Jimmy Butler's plus was the same as Trey Young's minus. Like there was a big point differential in the series for the Heat, so you're gonna see bigger plus minuses than you saw in the Celtics series, which was a much closer series in a lot of respects. But yeah, so Jimmy Butler clearly had a much better series overall. Trey Young's player efficiency rating was 4.83, so it actually went lower It actually went lower to 4.83 for Trey Young. He was not the best player on the field for the Hawks in this series. Let me be clear. DeAndre Hunter. Sorry, I don't know his name. DeAndre Hunter was the best player for the Hawks in the series, but I included Trey Young because Trey Young was the star for the season. Game changers / closer, Bam Adebayo. Adebayo had 41 minutes in Game 5 because Jimmy Butler was out. And over the course of the series, he was a phenomenal player, as always. And he carried the team to victory in the last game of the series, playing 41 minutes and just closing it out. 12.4 points a game, 31 minutes. He got 20 of those points in the last game. 22 field goals made on 42 attempts, over 50% field goal percentage. Going into the last game, he was shooting higher than that. He had 0 3-point attempts, but free throws shot 81%. 40 rebounds, 11 of those being in Game 5. 9 offensive, 31 defensive rebounds, and 11, again, of those rebounds were in Game 5. 18 assists, 5 steals, 3 blocks, plus 50 on his plus minus, and player efficiency rating of, let me get up the Heat for a second. The player efficiency rating last night was 11.7. Sorry, I should have edited this before starting today. After last night's game, it went up to a 13.29. So, pretty decent. Not incredible, but not 4. It was the second. It was one of the higher ones on the team. Few people had higher, but Jimmy Butler really carried the show. Another key player was PJ Tucker, and I marked this category consistency is key. He was consistent the entirety of the series for field goal percentage. Until the last game of the series, he was shooting 66%. He shot 2 out of 6 in the last game, which was a tight game. But for the majority of the series, he was shooting almost 70%. 9.6 points a game, averaged 37 minutes per game. So he averaged more minutes than Bam Adebayo. Didn't play as many in the last game. 8 free throws on 10 attempts. 31 rebounds, still not bad. Not as good as Bam, but not bad. 7 offensive, 24 defensive. 12 assists, 2 steals, and a plus 71 plus minus. His player efficiency rating did go down a little bit to 14.22, but still better than Bam's pretty decent player efficiency rating. Plus 71 for a single series is insane. Jimmy Butler probably would have had that had he played the last game of the series, because his was plus 61. But plus 71 for a 4-1 series is not bad at all, especially for a non-star player. But yeah, no. PJ Tucker was their consistency guy for 3-pointers, for shots in the field, and had a very good series overall, and did decently in the last game. Overall, this was the expected outcome. Miami was expected to come out with a victory here. I think a lot of people expected them to 4-0, but the Hawks did put up some resistance. The main reason why this wasn't somewhat closer was because Trey Young just did not play his best. Like, Trey Young people thought that Kevin Durant played bad, but Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. I'm not comparing Kevin Durant to Trey Young, but Trey Young played horrendously bad. From the statistics that I've looked at, I can't say exactly because I did not watch most of the games, but Trey Young was the big factor in this, and Bam Adebayo and PJ Tucker really helped Jimmy Butler take the series home, and I am excited to see. I think their next round opponent should be the 76ers. I think that Toronto does have a chance to bring it back. It should be the 76ers at this point, but it'll be interesting to see not only who the Heat are playing in the next series, but how that series goes. The East is definitely, I think, a closer competition than the West. Celtics, Heat, Sixers, and Bucks are all phenomenal teams, and it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out of the East. So I'm excited for the rest of the playoffs. We have a couple more games tonight where series could be decided, so I probably will be making another one of these videos tomorrow. Hopefully I don't have to make two of them because Milwaukee and Golden State both are 3-1. So we'll see. They'll probably both win, but maybe one of them loses. Who knows? But thank you guys all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.